he transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner. And you'd be surprised at what Caitlyn Jenner had to say about this Algerian boxer. So there's an update on the Imane Khelif about the bruh man, the partner, the Hemi, OG, big dog, the man who has been beating up women in professional boxing over in Paris at the Olympics for 2024. Imane Khelif in an update. I'm going straight to Nerd Report because he even gave us the results. Is that he was watching the boxing match and he went gold.
What's up, folks? Welcome to Nerd Report. My name is Lewis. I just watched a fight with Algerian boxer Imane Khelif. This person's been there's been a lot of controversy surrounding her.
Keep it 100, Lewis. It's a man. It's okay to say, brother.
Because of the chromosomes and the testing and how she didn't qualify for the female division, according to the one IBA organization which tested her, and now all of a sudden she does. But she's won gold. She just won gold. And let me tell you, folks, out of all the fights I've seen, no one had a chance to beat her. I think that's the biggest clue. There's something, I would suspect something's going on. And what happened originally, why she was tested originally is because coaches and boxers from a couple years ago were suspecting something was weird because how she would just walk through the female fighters. But listen, it is what it is. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of this. This is gonna continue, definitely. It's a story that's gonna continue, and we're gonna keep you up to date with it. But today, congratulations, you won. And listen, this opponent today had no chance. That's your biggest clue. To me, I'm still up in the air, but
we're looking
man,
pretty in here.
when you're
whoa, Lewis, wait.
Passing a test.
Lewis, you said you still up in the air. Man, come on, man. One thing we don't do, man, we don't cater to these weak mother freakers, bro. Man, you know that's a man. Shout out to this man. Let me see what my dog Pac said. Try quick. Pac says, I don't see what he said. There it is. What's good, Jody, aka Superman? And thank God it's Friday. Hopefully, you and the family had a good week overall. I got a question. Excluding superhero movies, what are 3 movies that you never want to see again that they were that bad? Let's have a good stream. Hashtag team no sus. Thanks, Pac. I'm gonna get to your question as soon as we done with this topic right here. But yeah, I'm looking on my dog Lewis's channel, and he says he's still he's on the fence about it, which I could understand. I understand why he said that, because unless it's factually, we see the test results. I could understand why he would say that.
To me, I'm still up in the air, but man, when you're not passing a test, and now all of a sudden that person not passing the test is running over every fighter, that's a little weird.
That is a little weird, right? I'll even go further, Lewis. It's a man who was beating on women, and I'm not for that. If it's a person who's intersex or identifies as trans or something like that, then you have a different situation. But then what people have been letting me know by boatloads is that he's Algerian. So if you're Algerian, you can't be trans because they'll throw you in the street and kill you. So as dramatic as that sounds, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get to an update on the situation. Maybe Lewis is or is not aware of this, but a lot of people aren't covering it or don't know about it or whatever. But if you guys know that the WBO president, the vice president of the WBO said this is a man, without a shadow of a doubt. If we take a look here, so the World Boxing Organization, the WBO official has claimed that the International Olympic Committee was warned. The International Olympic Committee, that's the IOC. The IOC was disbarred. They were like disbanded from what the IOC is what disbanded the IBA. I'm sorry about that. So the World Boxing Official has claimed that the IOC, yes, the IOC are the ones who rejected the IBA's standards and rules, so that these two men can compete in this Olympic match that they just had. They were warned that Algerian boxer Imane Khelif had supposedly failed a female gender test. Failed the female gender test. Now, a lot of you guys already know about that, right? But he's out here coming and saying specifics that he also told them he also failed, and that it wasn't about testosterone levels, because I believe he said they didn't test for testosterone levels. They test for the XY chromosomal pattern. Istvan Kovacs, the European Vice President of the WBO and former Secretary General of the International Boxing Association, which is the IBA, the body which administered the test that was failed by this man Khelif, this woman, declared that the IOC was informed in 2022 of the discrepancy, but they chose not to act. He told them in 2022 that Imane failed the gender test, that Imane tested for XY chromosomes, not about testosterone, about the XY chromosomes, which results in the high levels of testosterone, which results in the manly figure, which results in the muscles, the bone density, the structure, the stature, the speed, the athleticism, all of that, which puts him at an advantage against these natural-born women. Moving on to the second part of the paragraph, Kovacs himself is a former Olympic and world champion boxer. The Hungarian outlet said, this is a quote, this is what he said to the outlet: "The problem was not the level of Khelif's testosterone, because it could be adjusted nowadays, but with the result of the gender test, which clearly revealed that the Algerian boxer is biologically male." And there's so much like statements from officials, like we're at a point where people on the internet are still denying this. People are just going so far as, show me the test. Unless I see the test, I don't believe in it. Well, if you're being this skeptical on the vice president and champion of boxing, the vice president who initiated this test that proves that is stating that he failed the test, if you're going to denounce that and say that that's not true, well, where's your burden of proof that that's a female then? Don't you need the proof to prove that that's a female? The same thing should happen. But what we have on our side is common sense. What we have on our side is the eye test. If it walks, talks, acts, quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right? We see the results that this person, Imane Khelif, sweeping through the Olympics, smashing them, dogging them out, tearing them apart. It's not fair. So it's weird to me why would somebody plugged into the matrix like like billions of people are in 2024, why would they be so ignorant as to reject the facts, to reject the status and opinions and statements of actual officials of the sport? For what sake? Why would somebody do that? I believe it's because they have a political mindset, because they have an agenda and they're a part of the woke mind virus, because they are actual puppets, sheep, zombies, people who are afraid to speak for themselves. Those who speak for themselves tend to get canceled in this society, and the ones that are denying this, are the ones doing the canceling. And I'm not for that. That's not what I'm about, and I'm not into that, and I don't think that we should be afraid to speak on what things are true. When a biological man comes into a ring with a woman, a biological woman, we've seen the boxer who lost put up the XX chromosomes after she was destroyed by that Taiwanese man boxer. That's just something not right about that. And it's not just me, because I would say the poster, the icon status symbol for trans athletes, there's only one person that comes to mind, right? One person that transitioned, who is an Olympic gold medal runner, I believe, who transitioned from a male to a female right before our very eyes, and they did it in the most public way possible. Bruce Jenner of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, of the Olympics, he transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner. And you'd be surprised at what Caitlyn Jenner had to say about this Algerian boxer.
Are we penalizing somebody for what they were born with? I mean, are we saying this? Are we saying that LeBron James has an unfair advantage over Spud Webb because LeBron is 6'10" and Spud's 5'9", and that he still got into the game? Are we now getting down to that where you think, hey, this is a problem?
First of all, if you're being intersex, we're talking about 0.1% of the population. Okay, it's a very, very small portion of the population. But because I said the media is so hypersensitive about this, I think the Olympic Committee did absolutely the wrong thing by letting her compete, knowing the media, what we're in right now. They should have stayed away from it. They've had enough of other issues with the opening ceremonies and everything to stay away from that. And the IOC just didn't do the job at the beginning, and then the media got a hold of this and blew the whole thing up. But shame on the IOC for not protecting the integrity of women's sports. And shame on the IOC.
Shame on the IOC for not protecting the integrity. Here is a trans woman, a Olympic athlete who transitioned and you think would be fairly, empathetic to the situation of Imane Khelif. But no, he's an athlete first, and he understands that fairness in competition is paramount. They even came to him via TMZ and asked him straight up, remember that woman swimmer who was competing as a man for the year before, who all of a sudden transitioned the very next year into the women's swimming team and completely destroyed them? You guys remember that? Well, he went on Piers Morgan, Caitlyn Jenner did, and she shared her opinion on that matter then.
Fair. Now, obviously, over the last 6 months, especially, because of Leah Thomas at the University of Pennsylvania, she had been on the boys' team just a few years earlier.
Here are the women swimmers. And on the left, that big bruh man right there that look about 6'5", yeah, he transitioned. He said, I'm all out. I'm out this the men's league. I'm going to go to the women's league and dominate.
Do not blame her. She played within the rules, but she dominated. She had gone through male puberty. Her lungs are bigger, her back's bigger, her hands are bigger. She just has a tremendous advantage in swimming in the pool against the women, and and she proved that. So I don't have a problem with her. I have a problem with the NCAA, that we have to change the rules. We have to do a better job because
that's the NCAA, which is an American establishment. And even they, with their rules, laxed as they are, just like the IOC's rules, are wrong. They need to be changed. So that's why the IBA banned Imane Khelif and stripped her of her medal, as well as the Taiwanese boxer, in 2022. And that's why the IOC, who is now running things for the Olympics, basically disbarred the IBA and what they think and went with their own rule set, which allowed them to join in 2024 in the Olympics, to see the absolute destruction that we've been seeing in the Olympics of this man beating up these women. I don't think that it's fair. I think that it's wrong, and it's dangerous because somebody could get hurt. When you got a man in a ring with women, lives are at risk. Health, it's serious.
Tonight, California gubernatorial hopeful Caitlyn Jenner giving this controversial statement to TMZ on trans legislation.
So there's legislation in various states to ban biological boys who are trans from playing girls' sports in school. What's your opinion on that?
Question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girls' sports in our school.
But it's a dramatic shift for Jenner, a transgender woman and advocate.
I also want to acknowledge all the young trans athletes who are out there, given the chance to play sports as who they really are.
Her latest comments coming as over 30 states consider banning trans athletes competing based on identity. Governors in 7 states have signed bills making it against the law for transgender girls to compete on a public school girls' sports team. Lawmakers arguing that transgender girls and women have an unfair advantage. In March 2020, Idaho's House Bill 500, dubbed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act, banned trans girls and women's ability to compete in female sports leagues.
And I can't help but be empathetic to that. I feel bad. It's really, you really think about how you feel about you having a child, a young girl, and my daughter goes and competes in some tennis match or some volleyball match or a basketball or situation or any other one-on-one sport, and I see this 6'2" clear male, clear male, got my daughter by double the weight, probably 200 pounds, and then I'm seeing my daughter get destroyed. Not just physically, because that's a fact. She would get physically destroyed, but seeing the emotional destruction, that's what takes the toll. To see everything that my daughter or your daughter worked for collapse in a fell swoop so easily and effortlessly. All of the effort, time, pain, passion, crying, sleepless nights, all of that just flushed down the toilet when you have to compete against the opposite gender. There's something wrong about that, and that's what I believe needs to be changed, and that's exactly what Caitlyn Jenner was talking about. Caitlyn Jenner say a lot of crazy stuff, but here, that's why it's important not to dismiss. The thing about our society and our modern society that we're in, people, when they disagree with somebody on one thing heavily, they tend to just throw in the trash everything else that they have to say. They overlook it. They don't pay attention to it. They just put them in this dog pile where, oh, I disagree with you on why people are broke, so I'm not going to listen to you on a morality question or about I don't want to know about your parentage because you don't know about why people are poor. I mean, those are two different things. I feel like you could disagree with somebody in one thing, but they could be completely right, and they should be heard on another. And Caitlyn Jenner is one of those people. They might not know what they're talking about on one side, but on the flip side of that coin, they might know a lot. And in this situation, that's exactly what's going down. So with that being said, man, I believe that we should take all, it's very clear. XY chromosome, you're a man. You have a syndrome, I'm sorry, man. You have all of the traits, so you got to get out. You can't participate. So I believe that if you have XY chromosomes, that you're barred from competing against women because they're XX. Now, if you're intersex, if you are identify as a different gender, or any of that other stuff, any of the mental stuff, right? A lot of that stuff is in our head that we make up about ourselves to try to do something to make ourselves feel better or to make other people feel worse. Whatever the reason is, a lot of it stems from up here. A lot of it stems from up here. So we need to go ahead and put that to the side and facts first. And if you have this chromosomal pattern, you cannot compete against biological women who are XX chromosome. As simple as that. That's where I'm at. And anybody else that's, oh, I don't know, that's clearly a woman. She said it's a woman, so we got to believe all women, right? That's the whole believe all women. Believe them what they say. But you're willing to believe a person who has so much reason to lie versus a vice president of the World Boxing Organization and gold Olympic athlete and one of the leaders of the IBA. You're willing to just throw his stuff down the toilet, but you just believe this person who has everything to win by lying? That's the type of person you are. I don't want to be that type of person, and we need to stay clear of those type of people. No agendas around here. We just got to deal with facts. That's how I feel. Leave it in the comment section. Let me know how you guys feel. Jody's Corner live every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time.